So you want to compute variance and standard deviation of group data. So using this table, we are given the shoe size, number of men, which represent the frequency. So I have 50 to 54, which will be our class interval. So we are going to use this table to compute for variance and standard deviation. So that is what we are going to look at. So first, let's quote the formula for variance. So for variance of group data, we have the summation F absolute power of S minus S bar absolute raised to power 2 divided by summation F. So in this table, we have our class interval and we have frequency. So the next thing we need on this table is X. X need to be on this table from the formula. So we have to compute for X. Remember that S is always our midpoint, which is gotten from the class interval. That is addition of these two intervals divided by 2. When I say 50 plus 54 divided by 2, it will give me 52. On the next row, we have 55 plus 59 divided by 2 will give me 57. So if you look at these numbers, 52 and 57, you see that this 52, when you compare it to 50, you see that it's increasing by 2. That means you added 2 to 50 to have 52, add 2 to 55 to get 57, add 2 to 60, you get 62. So on the third row, you have 62. So when you add 2 to the fourth row, you have 67 for S, the midpoint. We are just doing this in order to minimize the time for our instead of pressing calculator all the time. So you need to know this shortcut. So when you add 2 to 70, you have 72. That's for the midpoint. Add 2 to 75, you have 77, which is the final midpoint. So after computing this, let's go to the formula to know the next thing. If you go to the next, if this is the table for the S. So for the next thing, we need mean. So because of this mean, that means we need Fs on this table, because mean formula states that S bar is equal to summation summation Fs divided by summation F. This is the formula for mean. So that's why we need Fs on this table, because we cannot do without mean in our variance. So for Fs, means frequency multiplying midpoint in each column. So 7 times 52 is 364. On the second column, we have 15 times 57. 15 times 57 is 855. Third column, 44 times 62. Press your calculator. We give us 2,728. The fourth column, 13 times 67. When we multiply it, 13 times 67 is 871. Then that's how we do others. 9 times 72 will give us 648. 12 times 77 is 924. The next thing is the summation of Fs from the mean formula. So which means add everything under Fs in the row. So if you add 364 plus 855 plus 2,728 plus 871 plus 601, when you add everything, you will get 6,390. So this because our summation fs 6,390. So the next thing we do, okay, let's write this well. 6,390. Okay. So the next thing we have is to compute our mean. Having known that summation fs is still 6,390. 6,390. So this will be divided by summation f. Go to frequency, add everything under frequency. So summation f, when you add everything under frequency, you have summation f to be equal to when you add everything, summation f will be 100. So 6,390 divided by 100. So use your calculator to press it. 6,390 divided by 100 give us 63 points. 63.9. So this is our mean. Our mean is 63.9. So the next thing is to compute s minus s bar in the table. Since we have known the mean, the next thing is to use the midpoint and subtract the mean. So this is it. Remember, this s minus s bar is an absolute value. So just do 52 minus 63.9. It will give us a negative value, but because of this absolute sign in the s minus s bar, everything will turn to positive. Even though what we calculated is a negative number, the absolute value will change it to positive and it becomes 11.9. So 57 minus 63.9 will give us minus 6.9, but the absolute value will change it to 6.9. So that's why we're having 6.9 positive because of the absolute value in that s minus s bar. So in the next column, we have 62 minus 63.9. You will still have negative value 1.9. We will still have minus 1.9, but the absolute value will change it to positive, which is 1.9. So in the fourth row, we have 67 minus 63.9. This will now be 3.1. So 72 minus 63.9 is 8.1. 77 minus 63.9 will give us 13.1. So this is for the s minus s bar. This is the table for s minus s bar. So we go on to look for absolute value s minus s bar raised to power 2. So we just compute for this one in the next row. That's what we have in our next row. Absolute value s minus s bar raised to power 2. Sorry. Okay, in our next video we will round it off. We will round it up. we will stop here for now. Let's finish up in our next video, so please stay tuned. It is in a video cut. It's good.